Lions, Lions. Let's go, Lions. Who's in the house today? Today's going to be a great day, man. Great night. Get ready, get ready. We got Joshua in the house, man. Good to see you, bro. Julian, you better put your screen on right now because I'll tell you right now, I got a little shout out for you coming up. Keyshawn, good to see you. Wade, good to see you as well, too. Not yet, but soon. Gentlemen, we're going to get started here. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's from last week's when Canada beat the US. Remember last week when we were talking about that? We were talking about Canada and US going again. I don't know if maybe that's why people are just on this hockey train, because today is a little bit different. Today is the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Calgary Flames. What an interesting game. And why I say that, while I let a couple other gentlemen join in, because I heard a couple people were going to be joining a little bit late. I don't know if it's the hockey. I don't know what it is, but everyone's just like, today is just days. What is it, February? It's February 27th. It's not a leap year. We're perfectly fine. We can show up like we do, Lions. But it's so crazy to just go back to the hockey example for a second. Canada versus US last week. We were talking about that. Boom, that happened. Okay, Canada won. I'm just saying, Canada breeds them. Y'all Americans buy them. See this? See what I said? See what I said? It was in full fruition. But tonight is also another NHL type of day where we're looking at Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Calgary Flames. Why I showcase this in such an interesting way is because I was born in Calgary. I was born in Calgary. I was born in Calgary, and I'm living in Tampa. And for those of you that can remember, I'm telling you, I might be aging myself a little bit for the youngsters maybe on the call, but I know my true heart fans know of this. 03, 04, Tampa versus Calgary, finals in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Calgary scored. What didn't count? Tampa won the cup. So they've always had a rivalry. And it's so cool for me to be in the position of being born in the greatest city in Canada and to live in the greatest city in America. Now, again, this is my perspective, my opinion. I'm not saying you have to agree with me, but this is just my thought pattern on seeing two NHL all-star teams going against each other like that. It's always fun. It's always exciting. And it always gets me going. When we start to look at things that are happening in the world, gentlemen, we talk about this every single week. We go in and into depth with some of the understandings. This week we've had Trump slapping tariffs. So guess what? Canada got slapped back. Canada definitely got slapped back on that one. Trump's like, yeah, we delayed the tariffs, and then we had like Tate's coming back. Andrew Tate's coming back to the USA. I don't know if y'all heard about that. That bold individual there, that masculine man himself coming from Romania back to the US. And then there's like planes falling from the sky. Like, I don't know what it is about 2025 and planes just like doing what they're doing. But guess what? It's noise. Gentlemen, it's noise. It's all noise. I understand that we can swipe up and we can click some buttons and we can get on TikTok and we can get on Instagram. We can do our things, but it's all a lot of noise. And we talk about that all the time, about the noise and cutting out that noise. But the thing is, what's so hard nowadays is that we're kind of forced with this pressure of not to talk about religion, politics, money, not to talk about that old, sitting at the dining table and don't bring up those terms. And that ingrained thought pattern has created a longevity pattern that has gotten us to understand that we shouldn't be talking about those things. Now, I agree. Maybe you shouldn't. And at the end of the day, if you're bold enough, you will. But the point is that none of that really matters, because this is a room, an environment where you can actually speak and untether yourselves. Like, I don't care if you're a fucking janitor or a CEO. It's irrelevant in this room. When you come into the lion's den, you have to understand some simple rules. We are men. We are men. And we want to accelerate ourselves. And how we accelerate ourselves is becoming lions so that we can roar. We can use our voice to roar. You see, in the animal kingdom, the lion roars. The lion makes sure that all the other animals around can understand that the lion is there, while his lionesses are running out and going and catching the prey and being able to feed the home, feed the babies, take care of the household. But honestly, truly, not only are we just men that want to roar like lions, we're the kings that we deserve to be. And that's why That's why we show up here every single week. That's why we take the time and 1 hour every single week to show up with the momentum and the energy based on 3 simple words that I always like to preset every single call on: brotherhood, blessings, and breakthroughs. You see, the brotherhood is a bond between men. The only time you're looking down at a man is when you're picking him back up. And that's what we need more of in this life. The blessings are from above because God has a plan for every single man on this call and all those that are going to watch in the recording and all of the men in this entire world. And of course, it's also the breakthroughs. Maybe something I say tonight as a lion, and maybe something somebody else says tonight. But be open. Put that ego aside. Us men are very prone to that ego, aren't we? We like to know that we're doing the best because we are, and we're doing this, and we're flying by this. But be receptive. Understand that there's going to be some knowledge given. And I want to make sure that we have some time to open up Q&A at the end. Not even Q&A, not even questions, thoughts, comments, feelings, emotions that you may hear throughout the night. So what I wanted to brace and phrase today was something that I've been going through this last week. And it's the boxing fight that we all go through. And bringing this boxing fight into fruition is like the example of you being able to go into that change room. Like, think about athletes, think about boxers specifically. They're in that change room. They're in that change room. They're getting wrapped up. They're all getting all, they're getting wrapped. They're getting everything. They're about to walk in that ring. They're about to walk in. And if you picture yourself as that boxer, and you're putting on your wraps, and you're putting on your gloves, and you're walking up, and you're about to now push in. You're about to push in. That's where it gets very interesting, because when you start to walk up and you get into the ring and you go through the ropes and you're standing there and you're like, it's time. Who are you fighting? Who are you fighting? Because most of us think that we have to fight somebody. Most of us think that we have to compete against someone else, that we have to compete against what we think society has created as what the ideal man should be. Whether it's money, cars, clothes, all this stuff, beautiful wife, lifestyle, no. It's not looking at someone else in that ring. What it is, it's about looking at yourself. But not just any self, not the reflection you look in the mirror every single morning, gentlemen. It's the ideal version of you, the one that you know deep inside your mind what you're capable of doing, the person that you've been designed to know. God has given you that energy, that ideal, because you already have that picture in your head. You already have that picture in your head. Every single one has that picture in their head. Every man has a picture of where they want to be. For me, for example, I've been very health conscious recently. I've been really pushing it out. You guys have heard me over and over. I'm waking up in the morning. We're going to hear a little bit about that today. I've been pushing myself, working out, training myself, and that ideal version, I already have that picture. Who can agree with me right now to understand that they have a picture in their head of that ideal version of themselves? Exactly. Start thinking about that, because that version of you is the one that's across the boxing ring. That ideal version of you is standing there, right there in front of you, the best version of yourself. And you're sitting here going like, fuck, that's scary. I got to fight this guy. But where's that energy in the mornings when we wake up and say, I'm the baddest motherfucker of them all? No, instead we result to doubt and fear and these insecurities that never help us. We start to understand that this boxing fight is not about winning anymore. I can't beat him. If I beat him, that would be nice. And that's where we start to kind of whittle off and not think the right patterns. So in this boxing fight, instead, we should be saying, how do I endure? How do I endure 12 rounds? Having a goal, not to win just yet, because it's the ideal version of yourself. If you already pre-program yourself to saying, I'm going to beat him, you're going to go first round and you're going to go swinging. And guess what? You're going to get knocked out. And then you're going to be like, I'm defeated. And mindset changes. But instead, it's to say, I'm going to endure 12 rounds of the beating I'm about to get. Because if I can endure 12 rounds of this beating, guess what's going to happen after that? Magical things. We all have those days Now I'm going to switch this up a little bit towards just the days that we sometimes have. You know, sometimes we have days that are so productive. You know, those days where you just have such a productive day, and then all of a sudden, right at the end of the day, kaboom, something happens, something triggers. Whether it's a spouse that got into an argument with you, whether it's the fight with the family, whether it's a deal that you've been working on so hard and it just freaking blew up, like out of nowhere. Or maybe it's those internal thoughts. Gentlemen, maybe it's those internal thoughts, the ones that we don't necessarily talk about. Those internal thoughts about doubt and fear and, frankly, all the fucking bullshit. We think about things as humans from a neuro-linguistic perspective of the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we understand ourselves. We self-sabotage a lot. And it's human nature because we've only been designed to do one thing, which is survive, which is to survive. So when we're in this kaboom situation, a fight with the family, a deal that unfortunately doesn't close, the internal thoughts of not just being the best version of yourself, emotions are what break us, gentlemen. Emotions are what break us to not making the logical decisions we need to do. And then we sit here and we complain and we go, no, but like I need to make more money because I think that's going to solve it. I will tell you from experience, making money will not solve any of your problems. I'll tell you, you deal with your problems a lot better. You deal with a better view. You deal with a nice car to drive to work with your problems. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to hit on that lifestyle. But at the end of the day, problems are still problems. And I'll tell you right now, I know a lot of billionaire friends that have made billions in their life, but are so poor when it comes to family, relationships, mindset, and the way that they actually move. So it's more important than just to think about money. It's more important to understand who you are. And when we think about the same frequency, you know, you go into the neurological side of things. You think about the frequency of our brains. Remember, stress and excitement is the exact same brain frequency. The only difference is one thought. That's it. Only one thought dictates between those two, stress and excitement. So we love to be excited about things. We love to get jacked up and pumped up and be in the game. But yet when we feel stressful, we feel like shit. We feel like putting it all down. We feel like just like, oh, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to get myself out? And then we get into that spiral system of thought pattern and mindset that goes down and down and down. And then we result to vices. We result to things that we're prone to, like, you know, drinking too many beers and watching the football game and forgetting about our problems because we're men. We don't have the same emotional capacity that women do. Women can hold that stuff to them. Think about high school days. For those of you that have been in high school recently, and for those of you that maybe it's been a couple of years since you've been in high school, just remember back in the day. Remember when we would get into those little fights, the arguments. Like two guys getting into a fight on the soccer field would be like, yo, I'm going to punch you a couple times. And then, you know what? Let's get back on the field and let's go play. Women were a little different. Women were the ones that were like, no, she hurt me. Now I'm going to embarrass her in front of the school. And I'm going to bully her so hard that she's going to understand what is going on. Us men are just very prone to just not being able to really understand the emotions that we actually feel. We suppress them very quickly. We move on. We're very cool and calm like that, especially for the gentlemen that I know. And when we start to understand that, we say men can't have emotions, right? That's what we're taught. Rub some dirt in it, be a man. Now that's an interesting perspective. It's an interesting perspective that's a bit outdated. Because we are true men. We are fighters. We are wanting to do only one thing, which is to provide and protect. That's it. We've been conditioned that way for years, if not more. But when we really understand that our mental capacity is wired to the 6-to-1 ratio of 6 negative emotions versus 1 positive one, we're always set up for an uphill battle. But without that uphill battle, we won't ever know what's over the mountain, over the hill. You see, joy is the only positive emotion we feel. But when we have fear, sadness, anger, contempt, surprise, and disgust, we have 6 other emotions that are against us each and every single day. It's a 6-to-1 ratio, gentlemen. It's not an easy one to surpass. So today I'm going to make it brief because I want to make sure that we have a good group now that's jumping in. I appreciate y'all. I see you, Sholi. I see you, Julian, coming in. Julian, my man, we're going to give you a shout out, my guy. Congratulations, my brother. My brother, he proposed to his woman. It was an incredible video. Let's give a shout out to Julian right there. Give him some credit in the chat right there. We got Alex coming in the house all the way from Miami, my brother. Look at you coming in, man. Epic Talks was epic last night, wasn't it? I'm sorry I couldn't be there, but that looked like an AI extravaganza right there. We got Felipe in the house, my guy from Brazil that's now back in the US, I think. Back in the US for a little bit. My guy, we got to connect when you're back up here in Tampa. I know you're in Fort Myers there. Keyshawn's in the house. My guy, Scott Gass. Oh, here he is. Respect and love. You're going to be actually hearing from him next week as well, too. That's a little secret that I'm going to hold on to right now and just give you a heads up on who that man in the hat is for those of you that are looking at that. And Rico, we got Rico in the house. Of course, we got Rico in the house. We got Dan in the house. These guys, these energy guys, man, I'll tell you, they're creating impact on an energetic level globally. Globally, I tell you, every single time he sends me a video, it's just like, damn, how much you're leveling up. Dan, Rico, both you guys out there, incredible guys. And I can see a lot of other ones that have jumped on the call as well too. Respect all y'all. But we're going to get into it today because when we go back to those days, right? We go back to those days that we sometimes have a kaboom. We start to understand that today all I want to share was 3 simple things. And we're going to get through this because I want to hear from y'all. The 3 simple things is, how do we take control? Because those emotions run high each and every single day. So how do we take control? That's the first. Second thing is, how do we set up our morning? How do we set up our day? How do we set it up in the most meticulous way? And I want to give you some insights of what I've already experienced just in the last 4 weeks. Like, y'all know that I'm a 4 a.m. kind of guy, right? It's pretty hard beating just 4 a.m. But it's actually more meticulous to understand what you can do now within that 4 to 7, 4 to 8 time frame. And that could be your own time frame, but I'm going to give you some insights on that. And the last one is the boxing fight that we talked about. How do you beat that ideal version of you? Enduring 12 rounds can only get you so far, but the unanimous decision is unfortunately probably going to be against you still. The ideal version is still going to win. So how do you beat that ideal version? How do you actually overcome? Because the only way you will become that is if you beat it. You beat yourself. And I'm not talking about jerking off, gentlemen. I'm talking about beating yourself mentally. So today we're going to dive deep into that. And I want to get through this right now because with all the gentlemen on the call, I know that we're all experiencing different things. We're all from different walks of life. We're all from different cultural backgrounds. We're all from different parental situations. Whether you've been born rich, whether you've been, born poor, whether you've had trauma in your life, whether you haven't, which I don't even think that is even possible to not have trauma in life. And that's, again, something that us men really don't understand how to even think about the word trauma sometimes. It's a bit hard for us to fathom that. But when we start to understand taking control of your emotions is very interesting. And I'd say interesting in a way of our brain is very complex. However, it can be very simple if we can understand it. If we can understand certain patterns and we can understand a simple 1, 2, and 3. Now, for example, let's just take anger. I always like to use anger as an example, right? When we have language in our mind, in our subconscious mind, and I say, I am angry. Something pisses me off. Could be that fight, could be the deal blowing up, could be whatever it is. I am angry. See, I'm in level 1 thinking of I am angry. The minute that I get to level 2 now, I'm saying I'm having a thought that I am angry. Okay, so I've disassociated a bit now. I've taken one step away now to understand, okay, no, I'm not just angry. I'm having a thought that I'm angry. Okay, one step back. But if you can truly get to level 3, I can say, I believe I'm having a thought that I am angry. And that disassociation allows you to really understand and really place the emotion where it needs to be, where you're almost like, if I was standing here right now and I'm in front of you guys right now, it's like, imagine like a little orb comes out of my head and it just pulls up right behind me like this. And this little orb has a camera and it's watching me do what I'm doing and speaking to you. That is what disassociation is. It's disassociating yourself to look at yourself in a given situation. That's very powerful. Now let's take this a step further. I always like to use an example to put this in fruition. Imagine you're driving down the road. You're driving on the freeway. You're going, and all of a sudden, some jackass, and I always like to say R8, a red R8 with a J10X license plate. It's in the shop right now, but at the end of the day, I'm driving and I cut you off, and boom, I'm gone. You're pissed. You're like, what the fuck, man? I almost swerved off the road. What is this shit? In level 1 thinking, you're pissed. You're angry. You're upset. Why did this guy just cut me off? Why did this? What? I'm in level 1 thinking. Level 2 thinking now is, whoa. Let's just sit back for a second. Let's just relax. What are we gonna do? We're gonna go crash into him. We're gonna call the cops. Are we gonna do something about it? We're healthy. We're happy. We're safe. We're going back to our family. Everything is fine. It's that devil and angel on our shoulders every single day. And this, gentlemen, this happens every single day. The amount of thoughts that we have in a day, it will blow your mind, because of the fact that we're always between 1 and 2. We're always between what I know I should do, but what I really don't want to do. And I don't want to do this, but I should do that. And we're constantly going back between the devil and angels. But the level 3 version of you is very interesting, because the level 3 version is the one that's sitting in the back seat saying, look at Tweedledee, trying to explain to Tweedledum that we're angry right now. So my only thing that I will say to you right now is check in with yourself constantly. Sometimes I say this and I hear this and I understand this, but until you put it into fruition every single time that one of those 6 negative emotions hits you, you have to check in. Level 1, level 2, level 3, level 1, level 2, level 3. Which level am I speaking from? It's like Jeff, judgment, ego, fear, same conditioners. The judgment of others, the ego within yourself, the fear of the unknown. Jeff is always programming our mind to what? Survive. That's it, just to survive. So when you understand taking control, understand level 1, 2, and 3, and keeping yourself in check. That's a quick reminder, especially for the lions that are on the call. Number 2, setting up your day. Now, setting up your day is very interesting, because I've changed my mindset about setting up your day. It's not just about waking up early. It's not just about staying on course with your calendar. It's not just like writing your goals twice a day. It's not about the stuff that you see online that's pushing you to momentums. No, it's actually understanding a simple phraseology. Duty, not responsibility. For those of you that are writing notes down right now, duty, not responsibility. It is your duty every single morning to wake up clear, focused, to be able to attack your day so that you can be the best version of yourself. Very simple. Not easy, but very simple. Just like, getting in shape. If you eat healthy, you work out, pretty simple. But why is it that having a 6-pack is more rarer than being a millionaire? Very interesting statistic, isn't it? Very interesting statistic. So when we start to understand that setting up your day is about training your body as a man, as a lion. Training is the best mental clearance that you will find in any capacity. In any capacity. Training your body will make you more money. Bless you, JC. I saw that. Training will make you more money than ever before. Now, how do I know that? Because I lived it. So many years, I was able to make a lot of money. I was able to make millions of dollars, but I never really focused on my health. You see, I never really focused on my health because I was like, it's okay. I'll figure that out. I'm pretty decent. I can get a little compression t-shirt to hold my little fat in and I'll be fine. I still look good. Still look like a boss. Got a nice watch on, drive a nice car. Nobody cares, until I could realize in my own head that I actually care. I feel embarrassed. I need to push forward. I need to understand that training can't be a responsibility for me anymore. It has to be a duty. It's my duty to shape my next generation, because that's all I ever want to do. I want to build the next generation, and I want to keep fueling the next generation. Most of you that know me personally know that that's why I'm the owner and CEO of Next Gen Group of Companies. Next Gen, everything next gen. It's all been about that, but it had to have started with me investing in myself. in my morning routine. Now I can tell you my morning routine is, let's just give something, let's expose it here. I wake up 3:55 in the morning instinctively. Okay. I beat my alarm clock. My alarm clock goes off at 3:55. So at I multiple times in a row, I will wake up right before it even hits. It's like that moment where your eyes open up and then you look over it. You're like, of course you look at your phone, or like you look where your phone, and then boom, the alarm goes off. So I've trained my mind for 3:55 in the morning over and over. It's taken me like 6 years. So it's not something that you can do over like night. But understanding 4 a.m. is when I read a book, I go on Instagram, I make a post. You see, most of these people out there, they're going like, you shouldn't be on Instagram in the first thing in the morning. You shouldn't watch Netflix at night. I don't care about that. I care about what works for me. I care about waking up in the morning, listening to 15 minutes of a new book that I have never heard, jumping on Instagram, making a couple posts, and seeing a couple cool things that are happening. Cool. That's my thing. 4:30, I jump into the gym. Out there, working my weights. Now, for the last 3.5 weeks, at 5 o'clock now, I jump on my bike and I ride around this city of Tampa. 2 hours. Usually gets me about 15 miles, 10, 15 miles. Got an electric bike, but I don't try to use the electric when I don't need to. But when you're going 15 miles, sometimes you got to, enhance. Me and my guy, my doctor, his name is Dr. Mo. He's an incredible guy. He's got me into this whole energy of just exploring the city. You see, us gentlemen, us men, we want to be free. You ever been in a car by yourself and you're just driving and you got like your favorite music on, and there's no care in the world. Like you are just like, you're flying down the highway, you're relaxing, you're in the moment, you're feeling in control. You got the steering wheel in your hands, you see the RPM going up, and you're just flying. That's a sense of relief. And then I can get into like my 8 to 10 and my 12 to 4 and all the rest of it, but none of that else matters. None of the rest of the day matters. What matters is what I'm doing between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. And gentlemen, you might have your 4 a.m. in your own time scale. I always like to share that. You don't have to be like me at 4 in the morning. I like my morning hours, but you need to figure out your own hours and you need to stick to them. If you are not dedicating a minimum of 2 to 3 hours every 24-hour cycle, every 1,440 minutes, every 86,400 seconds in a day, if you are not dedicating at least 2 to 3 hours a day to yourself, because I know you guys don't sleep more than 6-7 hours. I know that. To yourself. It doesn't make sense, gentlemen. 1/3 of your life is going to be sleeping. 1/3 of your life is going to be working. It's about the 1/3 that you don't know what to do with. And then everyone says, I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm so busy. I don't have time. I love that excuse. I'm like, that's crazy. Talk to the richest people in the world. Talk to the most wealthiest people. Talk to the people that are the most fulfilled. Talk to anybody. Talk to the monks that don't even give a shit about money at all. Guess what? They care about time. They care about how they spend their time, how they energize their time. And that's why I say test yourself. Test yourself this week. Here's a challenge for you. Test yourself. Now, I don't know if Ben is on the call. Can I see Ben on the call? Ben's not on the call right now. That's fine. Ben's probably running right now because Ben is a previous coaching client of mine as well too. And Ben is incredible because Ben has been committing to this 30-day challenge of running a mile a night. And I said, you're allowed to do it only if you send me a picture every single night. And for the last 11 days, he sent me that picture. He's like, Jay, I've never been able to do this. I was like, boom, there's a challenge that you set. Don't overcomplicate the challenge. Don't make it like I got to lose 100 pounds or 50 pounds or 40 pounds. Like, no. Just do it like I got to stay consistent. A mile a day, a mile a day, a mile a day, a mile a day. Keep it simple, keep it consistent. Keep it simple, keep it consistent. This is the thing that's so wrong about the self-help care nowadays is that everyone thinks that they have their solution. Everyone thinks that they have their magical pill that's going to solve your fucking problem. No, the only thing that's going to solve your problem is you waking up, looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, I'm a fucking lion and I have a duty that I'm called to do and I need to push forward towards it. And that's it. So what's your week's challenge? I don't care if it's as simple as, I always mention this, the cold shower, right? Just get into your shower, turn it on cold. Fuck, it sucks. Of course it sucks. Hey, you pushed it. Got a little check mark. Got a little dopamine hit right in the morning while you're in your shower. Mix that in, and guess what? Now it comes down to the third one. Like I said, it's beating yourself. And no, 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 not that kind of beating. Like I said, although sometimes that can be a bit scary as well too. For some gentlemen, let's not just hold that shy. For some gentlemen, jerking off is actually, it's hard. You know, whether you've not been with a girl or you're not with a girl anymore or whatever it is, sometimes we still want to feel pleasure. We're men. And sometimes people call us dogs, but at the end of the day, we like to have fun. We were designed. There's a reason that a man can go his entire life producing children and a woman can only go to about 35, 40. There's a reason that human or God has designed us this in such a way. So we have to understand that beating yourself, not in that aspect, but yes, in that aspect, but also beating yourself in that ring. See, going back into that boxing ring and being able to understand that you have a component, you have an opponent, and that opponent is you, is if you can't control your hands, you'll never be able to beat that boxer. You see that ideal version of yourself in that ring? If you can't control this in front of you, your hands, this is how you beat yourself. And that's why I made the reference of because we know what we can do with our hands. But what we also don't understand what we can do with our hands is simply one thing. Now, I don't care if it's a fist to punch. I don't care if it's a drink too many that you may hold inside your hand to suppress emotions, to grab the alcohol and to start to clug. Maybe it's the pen that you're trying to write with or not writing with, not releasing some of the thoughts that are inside your mind, some of the thoughts that actually need to come out. And you're not ready to expose that to the world. You're not ready to jump on lines and be like, Jay, this is my trauma. This is what I'm feeling. Maybe it's just time to get a notebook and a pen and just start to write in a fucking journal. Our hands are in control, and releasing thoughts and emotions that are tied up here is the reason that y'all aren't getting to the level that you need to be. It's not that it's the exact same reason that I'm not getting to where I need to be. I'm not sitting here like some guru trying to tell you that I know it all and I've been through it. No, I'm here with you, lions, right alongside you. Every single day we are faced with bullshit. Every single day we are trying our best, trying. I hate the word try, because try is setting you up for failure. You know that. The minute that you say, I'm going to try to get to the gym tomorrow, guess what? You ain't going to the gym. If you say it's my fucking duty to go to the gym, guess what? You better get your ass out of the gym. You're going to walk right to the gym. You're going to walk right there. You're going to go touch that weight. You're going to pick up that weight. You're going to do it. And when we understand the healthy way of doing this is understanding dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. These are chemicals that our brain creates naturally and artificially. It just depends on what we want to do with it. You see, if we want to do it artificially, we can do it with our vices. We can do it with gambling and drinking, smoking, partying, certain things. But if we want, and even sex, I know a lot of guys that they're sex addicts. They're sleeping with another woman every other fucking night. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, to me, it blows my mind. Now, I'm engaged in a very healthy relationship, but it's like, that's crazy to think like you're just going out there for a fucking pleasure. You're just trying to chase something. But instead, if we rewind that and we say dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. So dopamine, I'm trying to achieve a task. Make your bed, take a cold shower, get to the gym in the morning. Guess what? That's 3 fucking check marks so easily. So easily. Boom, boom, boom. Dopamine hit. Oxytocin, serotonin, community, being a part of something like this, feeling love, giving somebody a hug, just be like, yo, what's up, brother? Even as a brother, man. Gentlemen, lions, kings on the call. It was a true blessing to have y'all here tonight. And I cannot wait to see you next week on the Lions Den, 8 p.m. EST. God bless. Take care. See you next week.